What's good with it in the motherfucking hood with it? You already know what it is, man. Welcome back to the Collective Clips where you already know the gun is about to get it in. So before I get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. I couldn't do it without you, and I'm very humbled for the experience. Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you for supporting my channel. We're going up to 75K all damn day, boy. I'm from the Valley, boy, all damn day, boy. Got homeboys out there from the west of the Bay, boy. You know what it is, man. Let's get it in. So, another Superwood, but this one don't involve Roach. This is the new and improved Superwood. We're going to leave Roach without his teeth with his mom making Salisbury steaks where he's at, right? And I'm going to introduce you to another homeboy who was a wood. Well, he was a hybrid wood. He was a Tesla wood, right? He was a, hey, brother, what's up, SA, right, type wood. He was the Mexican version or the white version of a Mexican. A little something different. Remind me of a Nazi lowrider, straight up. Back when they first came out and they were with the Southern Alliance. Whole different type of animal, man. But I understood. He grew up in the vaudeville. He grew up around the homies. He just went wood, brother. And you got to respect it. So there are two brothers, right? And I grew up with these guys my whole life. And I ain't going to lie. One of them used to bully me when I was little until my mom made me fight him. And he whipped my ass. And we became good friends, right? It's just true stories. So anyways, he was a homeboy. He was a straight up wood running around town, but he was a homie. He was a norteño, but he was white as toilet paper, right? But not soft like Charmin, hard as cinder blocks. And so when we were younger, everybody was scared of him. He was like a 6-time fucking Golden Glove, went and fought in tournaments, knocked everyone out, and was well known in my city for having major hands. In fact, to this day, his name still is whispered around the fucking vaudevilles and around the people because everyone knew him. That Vato had super serious hands. It was one of those dudes where it's like, you're talking, all the homeboys are drinking, all pisteando in the backyard, like, hey, can you fuck this homeboy up? Hell yeah. Can you fuck that homeboy? Yeah. Can you fuck this homeboy? Oh, shit, I don't know. That motherfucker wood is vicious, right? But he was a homie. Well, he had an older brother, and his older brother used to come around every once in a while. He like was doing his own thing. He had his old lady, but he'd come around and he'd fuck with us, right? Well, he ends up catching a prison term and went straight out hillbilly Jack Wood on us. Lightning bolts on the neck, fucking swastikas. He came out with raggedy ass, scraggly ass, unshowered hair, right? What's up, brother? Right? He was just fucking, what's up, SA, brother? He was just crazy. But when he'd get around the homies, he'd be like, what's up, homies? What's up, Andy? Right? But we all knew what time it was with him. So trip out. Here's his story, right? This Vato was a fucking super maniac. So the just like Roach had skeletons in his closet. I think every white man, you know, gets a little jungle fever, brother, right? Little coffee, little meth, little mamon, right? So the homeboy had a Mexican baby mama. He had 2 kids from her, right? And no one ever tripped. I used to trip a little bit like, God damn, this motherfucker got lightning, boy. He's super racial, right? But I understood that he wasn't like that when he went to prison. I mean, he was white. He liked to hunt and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, one of the white guys, hunt, fish, you know what I mean? Eat meatloaf on Wednesdays. One of them guys, right? But when he got out, it was straight meth or nothing else, brother, right? It was just different. And so we're kicking it one day. And I tell him, I'm like, hey, bro, what happened? What happened to you, right? He's like, brother, I went in there and I hooked up with my people. And I was like, yeah, but who are your people, truly? Because you've hung around with us like pretty much your whole life. Your brother is a homie. And I know I was in YA with his brother. Let me tell you a quick story about his brother before we get into him, because his shit is fucking crazy, right? So I'm in Preston. I just got to Preston. I'm like there a month. The homies, we had a riot. Well, I went to medical, you know, because they were doing like, we were on Cedar, which was the reception. So they called a few of us out to medical. They were doing like blood work and all that. And the homeboys got off with the blacks, right? Over spades, cards, whatever. They had a little riot, little melee. And so they're out of the way. So there was like maybe like 20 blacks that went to the oil, and maybe like 20 or 30 northerners that went to the oil. So when I get back, it's nothing but Southsiders, Bulldogs, and like 2 homeboys that were with me in medical, right? So we're up Shit Creek with a short ass paddle. Bulldogs are looking at us kind of crazy, right? We're like, fuck it. It is what it is. And so norteños start to come every night. That's one thing about Preston. Gang and norteños come off the bus. They come from NRCC, Carl Holton, wherever they were coming from. And so I'm in the back in the dorm chilling with the homeboy Lucky from Merced, right? He's from my neighborhood. We're posted up. And some black dude comes. And now we're not tripping with the black dudes like that happened. Whatever happened. The new black dudes that came is good, right? There's no retaliation because we won that fight. So they should be tripping. We're not tripping. And he comes, he's like, hey, you guys got a homeboy from Merced out there in the day room. He just rolled up. So we're like, all right, that's cool. We're not all like, oh, let's see who it is. Like when we see him, we see him. And so when we go out to the day room, there's a whole bunch of white guys because the woods had started to get a little deep, right? And there's one guy, his name was Eyeball. He had a big old eye tattooed on the back of his head. And he's right there chopping it up. And all these whites are gathered around somebody, right? So I'm like, oh, Wood must have came. They're interrogating him. So as I look, I see my homie, the one with major hands. His brother's fucking suit, the new Superwood. I see him and I'm like, oh, shit, right? And they're like, yeah, what's up? And he does it just like the movie American Me, you know? They're like, hey, he talks like a fucking Chicone, right? And he's like, but the other guys are like, he ain't Mexican, is it? He doesn't have to be. He has hands and he claims North, and that's all I know, right? So the white dude Eyeball tells him, hey, man, we're Woods. This is how we get down. He's like, I ain't a Wood. He's like, you got Wood tattooed on your back. He's like, no, it's my last name. I'm a Norteño, homie. And they were like, what? He was like, what? They were like, what? He was like, oh, what? They didn't want that. They backed up off of him. We pulled up like, what's up, homie? He was good. Now, this is a dude, man, I looked up to in the neighborhood, like really looked up to, right? Because he was just that guy. Major hands. Like I said, man, back in the days, he used to bully everyone, take their bikes and shit. My mom took me down there. You know, mom is like, hey, you're going to fight your battles, right? Took me down there. I was crying like, no, well, you don't understand. He's a Golden Gloves, right? No, it don't matter. She put me on Front Street in front of the homies. He beat the dog shit out of me. We ended up being cool. My mom even liked him. She was like, oh, that motherfucker got hands, right? And that was that. So anyways, we were impressed together. We rocked. He was a homie. So now years later, I get out and his brother, and I would ask about his brother, like, whatever happened to your brother? And he was like, oh, bro, that fool's all fucking weirded out, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? You know nothing wrong with being a white man, brother, right? He was like, no, but he's a meth man, brother. And this is back when propanol crank was crank. This ain't crystal. This is caca, baby food, dog shit. You know that? You remember the pink rose and the mellow yellow and the green caca shit? It stunk, right? That's back when you can get a fucking 16 for 40. You guys know what I'm talking about. He's off that good shit, right? That biker dope. So anyways, he gets out. We're chilling one day. We're all chilling with the homie. And everybody looked up to one homeboy in the neighborhood. He was like a big dude. Now, mind you, this wasn't my barrio, my neighborhood. Where I grew up right there in that area was an area called Beechwood, right? So we're chilling at one of the big homies from Beechwood's house. But he's to this day, he's still the homie. And that white dude's right there. And so I'm questioning him like, bro, why don't you use Vidal Sassoon and like wash your hair, bro? Cut that shit, homie. That shit's scraggly and you look like, hey, hello there, kiddies. You look like the fucking crypt keeper, bro. Your shit is unkept, homie. You can't be the crypt keeper because your shit is unkept keeper, right? And so he's like, no, you don't understand. So anyways, he brings around, I don't know what his thing was, but he went like super duper Wood on us. Now there was no more like hanging out with the homies. Like he'll come around, drink a beer, but like people didn't want him around because, I mean, he had meth mouth. You know what I mean? You could smell it from a mile away. Like, oh man, the homie's coming over. You can smell, it smells like an 8-ball. And he'll just come over, his teeth were all black. Like, what's up, homie? Right? Hey, what do you guys got? What do you guys got? Like, we got Febreze, motherfucker, for your mouth. And so he was hanging around. Well, he started to bring all these crazy white dudes around. So where they lived with their parents, the two homies, the homeboy that was a Norteño and then his brother. And so I used to go over to the homie's pad to go trip out, and he'd be there tweaked out in the fucking the garage, spraying fucking screens, raid everywhere, I'm trying to cook. I'm cooking, brother. I'm cooking. Like, nah, something's cooking. It's your mouth. It's boiling in that motherfucker, right? Febreze it. Febreze, right? He needed something. Anyways, so we're chilling, and he starts to bring all these different guys around. Now, okay, remember I told you he had a Mexican old lady. Okay, well, his old lady was one of the good homies that I grew up from the west side, was his sister. And so I actually ran into that. Hey, that's crazy because the true stories. I ran into that homeboy when I went to court a while back in Merced for the child custody. He was the homie I ran into. His sister is the one that has kids from the homie. Facts, right? I couldn't make this shit up. So anyways, and I was in Wyatt with that cat. I know him real good. So anyways, it's like this. We go to his old lady's house. We end up there. I don't know how we ended up there. The homie sister's house. We're all chilling. And she was like hooked on him. She didn't give a fuck if he had a lightning bolt through a Mexican's forehead. She was stuck on this dude. This was her old man. They had a couple kids. And when he got around her, he tried to act Mexican. Has she ever seen the white guys that try to adapt like that? Yeah, hey, what's up, Esa? Right? They're trying to act like that. But when they're with their people, they're like, fucking Mexicans. they fucking could sure build a house, right? That's how they are. So anyways, he's chilling and he brings all these extracurricular activity woods around. Now, these weren't the type of woods I was used to, like Hurley wood and dwarf wood. Hey man, don't kick me, don't kick me. These aren't those. These were like some serious fucking fuckers right here. Some serious dudes, right? Dudes that didn't even talk. They just looked. And you looked at them like, oh man, this is a different element of white man right here. This is the type of white man that put something in you, right? You see that white man over there? That's a vicious white man. We're going to keep our eyes on that white man because that white man is doing vicious activity. That's one of them, right? So he got all these homeboys right there. So there's like 3 or 4 homeboys. We're with his brother, like 3 or 4 of us. And we're really tripping because these dudes are like the kind that trip off Norteños, right? They're like trying to keep the politics on the streets. It's fucking nuts. And so one of them keeps looking at the homeboy, which is the homeboy's brother, right? Because he's white, so he's fucking not liking him. But he ain't gonna say much, right? But the homie is. So the homie's like, what the fuck you looking at, Holmes? And he was like, I ain't looking at you. And he was like, no, you fucking, I mean, what are you looking at? I smell good. You don't, right? What are you looking at, right? And he was like, how the fuck are you white and you're from a Mexican gang? It was like all time stopped. Time travelers stopped to watch that shit, right? That shit was like Gladiator, like the movie Gladiator. It was about to go down. We were in the Coliseum and it was all eyes on us, right? And when he said that, the homeboy said, what the fuck are you going to do about it? He said, you're a fucking disgrace to the white race, brother, right? And the homeboy said, you're a disgrace to my brother. You're a disgrace even coming around here. You're a disgrace to methamphetamine because you don't leave none for anyone else, right? You're just a disgrace all the way around, right? And they're full-blown arguing and the homeboy just catches them. Boop! Game over. Sleep time, right? Shit, the other was just, we were having a full-blown Old Folsom prison, right, in the middle of the homegirl's fucking apartment. Children were upstairs playing Nintendo, and grown men were downstairs fighting, right? And I ain't even gonna lie, I was on the wood like, why are we doing this? I kind of like woods, right? But we were fucking them up. So anyways, man, I thought because this is the homeboy's brother, he would be on our side. You understand that motherfucker tried to slice my throat. True stories. This is how it went down. Butter knives don't work, especially when they're backwards. Thank God for methamphetamine, because if he wasn't on it, he would have been thinking straight and I'd have been gone right now. This motherfucker, so I'm fighting to have a Mongolian at the time, right? This Vato racked his whole hand in my Mongolian. This is the homie's brother. The homie's over there not fighting with other woods, knocking him on the back, because there was like 4 or 5 woods and like 4 of us, right? So we're handling our business, but it's a good one. This fool came running out with the fucking butter knife, grabbed me by my fucking Mongolian, peeled my shit back, and racked that motherfucker. I still got a scar right here. That's why I got this tattoo. I didn't get it because the hind had good pussy. I got it because fucking it covers the linea, right? This Vato grabbed my head and tried to book me with the butter knife. I felt that motherfucker shake. But you know how on butter knives they got the little ridges? Ooh, that would have got me. This floor had it backwards, so it was like a smooth criminal one, but he really dug it in. Like it like gave me a paper cut. I was like, right? It fool got me. Fucking Woods got me, brother. And he's like, come the fuck down, kill your homeboy, right? And his brother's like, man, if you don't fucking put that butter knife up, stupid, right? Meanwhile, he got a white wood in the headlock, just tapping him, right? Other homeboys are over there fucking, I ain't even gonna lie, they were getting beat up by the wood. So everybody stops. The chick's like, my fucking kids are here. You guys are assholes, right? She's looking at us like we started it, which we threw the first punch, but that dude was looking crazy. So we get kicked out. They're cool. About a week later, right? The homie's like, come through to my parents' house, man. They just killed a pheasant. I'm like, for reals, right? So that, you know, that's how whites get down. Pheasant, dove, quail, all that. Bomb. So I get over there, man. His dad was an OG Wood, big old whip. I'll never forget him, man. I love him to the death of me, man. That was a solid dude. He's in the back roasting the pheasant. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, what's up, OG? He's like, yeah. I heard my son. You guys got into it. I was like, yeah, he tried to cut my throat and shit. You see this? But I mean, I'm cool. Yeah, you know, they can't blame the white man for that. You know, we're pretty good at that. We like knives. You know, he's like, speaking of that, do you got problems with my kid? I was like, nah, hell no, that's why I'm over here. What's your other son? Yeah, but we don't count him. That's our Mexican Wood. He doesn't really count. But if you got problems with my son, you know, I got a different type of knife here. I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be eating pheasant. Like, what's going on here? Is this an Old Folsom setup? So we all work it out like, nah, we ain't got no problems. The homie's brother pulls up, apologizing. He's not spun out, right? He's like, hey, man, I checked my homeboys. Don't trip, man. Hey, you're the little homie, man. I've always fucked with you, but you can't. When I'm on meth, stay away from me. I was, why were you at my old lady's house? Because you invited us. And that's the homeboy sister. And like fucking, you know what I mean? Who do you think was over there when you were in prison? You understand where I'm coming from, right? He's like, what? I said, I didn't say none. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that when there's no fucking sharp knife present. Anyways, it all worked out for us, right? We were cool. So trip out on the homeboy. So the homeboy was super racial. Okay, he was different than like Roach. Roach was like, listen, brother, I don't fucking like black people, but my son's black, so that's a different story. You know, I mean, it's like I don't like them, but I could learn to live with them, right? This guy was like, I don't like anyone. He didn't like Mexicans. He didn't like blacks. He was super wooded out. I was like, bro, most woods around here are cool. What the fuck happened to you? He was like, I don't like people with skin tone. I was like, oh shit. Let me tell you what happened to him. So there's a place called Rollerland in Merced. And Rollerland was like for the kids. We used to go there when we were young. I told a story a long time ago. Some black dudes damn near knocked me out there, right? It was bad. They socked me in my grill on New Year's Eve. They used to have the all-night skate. Half the night was skating. The other half the night was dancing. I didn't make it to the second half. They fucking knocked me off my boot heels. It was bad. But that was like more, they play hip-hop music. You know, there'd be a lot of black dudes there. A lot of Mexican dudes. There'd be like teenagers and like older people that would go. It was different skate nights, but most of the time it was for kids. So we stopped going there years ago, right? Like I went to YA, that was it. Like I ain't going back there. But the homeboy was like, hey, we should all go to he was like, hey, my brother and all his homeboys are going to fucking Rollerland. I was like, Rollerland? What kind of weird ass Diddy shit is that? You know what I mean? That's kid shit. He's like, no, we're gonna go. They're having like all night skate, and there's gonna be like, it's all older for older people. Fuck it, let's go, right? Let's slide through. Man, have you ever seen a whole bunch of woods on roller skates? Hey, brother, look, I can back skate. I go, oh, fuck, right? They was trying to back skate and all kinds of crazy shit. So there's a gang of bloods that pull up on power, right? Gang of bloods that pull up, and the homie just had to get into it, right? So I'm looking from the outside, and I see him. I see a gang of like skinheads and woods on one side, which we don't have very many of those in Merced. Very, very limited, right? But when they're there, you know, and there's meth smoke present. Believe that, right? So they're right there, and all these bloods are right there just doing the blood ain't even tripping off of them. They're doing their own thing, man. I could say on Pablo, the bloods was just doing their own thing, but the white man marched on, brother. They definitely marched on. So him, the ringleader, right? The super racist that he became, I don't know how, right? Fucking walks up to a black dude and is like, hey, you guys are not allowed in here. Motherfucker, this is not Mississippi, MISSIPPI in the 60s. This is not a civil rights movement. Bro, this is fucking America. Everyone is welcome, but not that night, right? And so my homeboy, he's going to back his brother's play no matter what, unless he's against us. That's just how he rolled. So he's like, hey, my brother's getting into it. I'm like, fuck, bro. Because I ain't going to lie, man. Let's be honest. Motherfucking black dudes had hands, right? That's just the way I grew up, especially in my area. Like, they'll knock you down. So I'm like, man, I ain't trying to get fucked up tonight, man. If there's a black dude, I'll kick him, but I'm just being honest, right? And so they're arguing, right? This big old black, he's a big fuck. He's a fat dude, but he's big, right? Look like a Uso. What's up, Us? He's right there. There's probably like 10 black dudes, man, maybe like 20 whites, right? So it's about even. And man, if Lanny didn't try to slap this dude, I said his name, but it is what it is, right? If he didn't try to slap this dude in the face, bah! And it got to cracking. Hey, do you understand? We all went to the county jail that night. Facts. You know what I mean? Got in there. The homeboys were like, damn, what the fuck happened? Hey, we got into it at Rollerland. Rollerland? Well, if you ain't going to get, you better write an essay why homeboys don't go to fucking a kid spot. Like, no, it wasn't like that. You don't understand. The DP is like that, right? We were questioned extensively. But anyways, fucking, that was one of my fucking, not my first time going to county jail, but like the second or third time I was on the block when it just started to function. Like homeboys were getting a little bit more structured than they were. Anyways, fucking, yeah, we got into it, man. I ain't gonna lie. The black dudes were fucking white dudes up that night. Hey, there was one white dude, though. He was no joke. That fool had major mitts. And, of course, the homeboy was putting people on their pockets. He had hands. And we get locked up, and the cops don't know what to do with us. What was this? Was this North, Black, Woods? This is not prison, sons of bitches, right? And we're like, hey, it just was what it was. Anyways, man, that was a thing that he got us involved in. It was crazy. You guys are going to go crazy when you guys hear part 2. He's the new Superwood, man. When I introduced him to her, he already knew Roach. He knew Roach. But when I got them going together on shenanigans, well, brother, let's just say the meth doubled. It got crazy, right? With that being said, man, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, brother, for what I fucking truly believe in. And that's, damn, there's a lot of black people here, man. this doesn't look cool, right? Woods are different. It's crazy though, because when you catch them by themselves, oh, brother, no, I'm not racial. I just did what I had to do. When you catch them like 6 or 7 of them, and the white man marches on, they're crazy. It's all about coffee and meth. I'm telling you, straight up. The Gun, you know what it is. I hope you guys appreciated this entertaining video.